Hey, whoa, we're live. We're a little late.
We're live.
I said I wouldn't mention it, but I did, Isaac. We're 4 minutes late, and I'm not even sure if we're live and working, but hey, Isaac Vega's with me. Welcome to the Tuesday Night
Hi,
Playcast. Yay! This is TKtv. This is the show about playing games. No, what's the tagline? I don't even know anymore. It's about the
I don't know,
stories
Alan. It's your show.
the stories we make while playing the games we like with the people we love. Boom.
Aw.
There we go.
I like
and I
that.
love you, Isaac.
That's a good tagline.
Thank you.
I love you too, Alan.
No problem. You're a little off center. I'm going to see if I can fix you. Oh my goodness.
Nope, that's not me. There we go.
There we go. Ah, yes, very good. And I'm going to make this a little bit wider here. Look, I'm making adjustments live in our OBS. Just
Perfect.
get the best image for you. And look, if you look at the television screen over here, you can see that you've got Gone to Gaia, and it's going to be scrolling through other different advertisements. So, Isaac, what are we looking at? Let's just start there.
So, you're going to be scrolling through all of our games, but Gone to Gaia is a roguelike or roguelite, whatever people prefer to call it. I know that there's a lot of controversy about those games. It's more in the roguelite area, but it's the first video game I've ever worked on in my entire life. And I'm very excited to be working on something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to make my own video game. I've been doing board games for the last 10 years. And I feel like this is an exciting opportunity to take this chance in my life. And we have the system and the experience, and we'll still be learning a lot along the way to make this happen. But Gone to Gaia is, like I said, a game that's going to be focusing on card play in the roguelike style of gameplay. And what you do...
A comparison game.
Slay the Spire is very, very much a good comparison to this game. We kind of have our own twist on that, but we also like to focus a lot on the storytelling that's going to be going on in this game. In this world, you are actually a group of people that have been forced to live on this mountaintop because the entire world is covered in this poisonous fog that is called the tide. And everything that is the world has continuously had to deal with the fact that the tide is continuously rising. And you and your characters have the only suits that are available that are able to travel through the tide and get to this mysterious godlike ship that is called Gaia. And you have many adventures along the way. You fight creatures along the way, and you make interesting, compelling decisions along the way. And one of you may not return as you play through the game. And you have lots of different things that you're going to be utilizing throughout that run, and being able to upgrade your characters, utilize different cards, and make strategic decisions that are also going to help your colony back home on the mountaintop. So we have a lot of stuff going on with that one. It's definitely still a little bit of a ways out, but we're really excited about it. And there's a lot of work underway on Gone to Gaia.
Sir Winner's with us in the chat. So if you have comments, questions, please shoot them at us. We'll do our best to acknowledge them. Now, Sir Winner is there, Gabriel, and he asks, how's Rose Gauntlet going? So let's take a step back instead of just jumping in and Gone with Gaia. And I can change basically what we're looking at here when it comes to your website. For instance, now there's Life After a Dungeon, which I'll give you a chance to talk to us about. There's also Keystone. And then I think that's it for your... Oh, and there's your Rose Gauntlet logo right there. I love it. Love it so much. So we're going to talk about all these things. Hey, Sir David Waldman's here also, and now he says, okay, now I get why the armor looks like a diving suit. Ah, yes, with the story explanation. Isaac, this game, Gone to Gaia, and Keystone, and Life After Dungeon. These are games that are yet to be released from your company, Rose Gauntlet Entertainment. But you're not alone with Rose Gauntlet Entertainment, because we had Lindsay Rode on just a couple weeks ago.
Right,
she
the
talked
amazing
about
Lindsay Rode, which I'm sure your audience knows us very, very well.
Right. Absolutely. I have so many questions because I started a company with my friend, what's his name? Sean, and you started a company with your friend Lindsay. But should we start back at the past? Because I think, what do most people know you from historically in the gaming community?
So I was working for Plaid Hat for about 10 years, and that's most of my board game career. I pretty much started up because started a friendship with Colby. He had a company that had started off called Plaid Hat Games. And he's the owner, Colby Doc, of Plaid Hat Games. And he saw the talents that I was bringing forth towards the company, the effort that I was putting in towards volunteering towards the company, and the designs that I had pitched towards him. And he decided to bring me on as first employee. And since that point, I pretty much was his number 2 guy from that point on.
You were the hand of the king if we're using Game of Thrones analogies.
I developed, I believe, 8 to 9 games.
I've seen your name on a lot of games, if not on the cover, definitely in the book. Yeah, like Video Game High School was one.
Right, definitely my most known game.
I mentioned that because of the obscurity, because most people, I think, probably know. What do you think your most popular game is that people are like, oh,
definitely Dead of Winter. It's by far the most successful game that I've ever released, and hopefully not the last. But Ashes has also been fairly successful for us as well. And probably after that, Forgotten Waters, which was recently released last year.
Forgotten Waters, so fun. Do you know, am I allowed to ask how Forgotten Waters is doing? Because I know Forgotten Waters was released just prior, I believe, to the pandemic, and I know a lot of tabletop games have taken a hit. So even if it's not doing as well as you may expect, I would say it's the pandemic, because I imagine that game has to be flying off shelves because it's amazing.
Oh, well, thank you, Alan. Well, despite the pandemic, it has done, definitely went above our expectations for a game like that during these times. The game plays up to 7 players. So it's really meant for the real world and everybody getting together. But Joe, my co-designer on that project, did an amazing job building an online tool that allows people to play it online. And funnily enough, talking about it today, I actually played it today with Joe, and there's some stuff that's being worked on. I don't know if they've officially announced it yet, so I'm just going to be quiet about it, but there's some stuff that's happening. And it's very cool, and it was a lot of fun to play it again, even though it's not in person. It was really cool to play online, and the online system that he created for that is fantastic. He did an amazing job with that. So Forgotten Waters is going very well, and I hope that more people can discover it after we are out of these times, preferably.
Absolutely. A little Easter egg. I haven't heard it myself, but I know I was asked to do some voice recordings for the app, because this is a total pirate game going on, and I was asked to do a couple of voices. So I believe I'm in the app is some of my voices. So that's... You are. I feel pretty honored about that. Pretty big deal. But let's get back to your story, because I think what a lot of people...
Real quick though, fun Forgotten Waters fact, because I got the compliment again today. For those of you who have played the game, it was Alan's idea to separate all of the roles for Forgotten Waters. And that was even complimented on today with a new player who's playing today, on how great that system is and how much people enjoy that. So thank you, Alan, for playtesting the game early on and giving us that suggestion, because it's been one of the best things to improve the quality of life for that game.
I love it. No, it was so much fun, because we play tested that during Cabin Con, which is probably the thing I miss most, because I get the question a lot, do you miss the cons? What do you miss? I miss the people at the cons, for sure. That's definitely what I miss the most. But if there is one event that I miss the most, selfishly, it's Cabin Con, where it's basically just a campsite where we rent it out and bring a whole bunch of friends. We had Lindsay, you, me, Joe there, all of our friends that were there, and hopefully more and more once pandemic breaks, because I'd love to get Cabin Con going on again.
I can't wait, my friends. It's going to be so amazing to have an event like that again one day soon. I am going crazy in this current world we're living in, so I'm ready for that that kind of experience again.
Gabriel asks if I'm doing the voices or is Captain Chessbeard doing the voices. I know I did some voices. I hear he was hired to do a voice as well. But, you know, I don't know all of that because I don't know all the different people they hired for different voices. But I heard through the grapevine, like, I think Captain Chessbeard's on here. And David Waldman says, I hope Alan got a consulting fee for that. Yeah, he pays me in affection, hugs, and friendship.
That's
it's
right.
amazing. I'm very spoiled. All right, so getting back to your story, because I think a lot of people are interested. You have, and I don't want to say a cush job because that implies that it was easy or that it was really well paid. But we'll say you had relative security. I think that's fair to say.
Yes.
At Plaid Hat Games.
Yes, I did.
With, as I pronounce his name, Kobe Dow. But you took a leap and you decided to start your own company. And that is a big deal in any industry, at any job. To basically leave, like, imagine being in a law firm and being like, I'm going to leave the law firm and I'm going to start my own law firm. Or whatever the business is. Like, oh, you make boxes? I'm going to start my own box company. So is there anything that you're willing to share about that huge jump? You don't have to give any details. You may not feel comfortable sharing, but I would love to know emotionally at least what that is like. Because that has to be scary.
So in that transition, there was obviously the offer for Plaid Hat to purchase itself back from Asmodee, which it did. And I decided, I had been thinking for some time that I wanted to kind of push myself to do something different, push myself to kind of explore some different things that I wanted to do within the industry, push myself to be working with some other people that I wanted to be working with in the industry that unfortunately my position at Plaid Hat didn't allow for. And I also just needed some time to kind of just take a break from the industry and kind of reorient myself emotionally and understand what I wanted to do, move forward into the next phase of my life, because I had been part of Plaid Hat for 10 years. And that was possibly longer than I expected to. It's not, I don't regret making that decision by any means. But I had never done anything for 10 years before that. So it was definitely a point in my life where I just kind of felt I needed to do something new, something fresh, and just kind of take the opportunity to change that part of my life. I grew up so much through Plaid Hat. I didn't know what I was doing as a designer. I didn't even know that this could be a career before I started playing board games and getting to know board games and getting interested in the hobby. I developed that into a career, and then I decided that it was time to just kind of take a leap of faith and move into the next step of my life, because I had kind of utilized all the different avenues that I thought Plaid Hat could provide me and do all the things that I wanted to do with that position and that company. And I thought there was a lot more to explore for my life to try something else. And kind of moving on to Rose Gauntlet kind of allows me to now experience what it's like to be at the helm of a company, experience what it's like to also create things that we possibly wouldn't have made through Plaid Hat, such as projects like Gone to Gaia, and possibly explore other creative avenues that I have yet to announce and talk about.
It's that creative freedom you want it.
Yes, exactly. And it also allows me to work from home, which I really am valuing a lot. This is pre-COVID, but after COVID for sure, it helps a lot. And I just think it also lets me control my time in the way that I wanted to, and I felt like I needed to for my own mental health.
Yeah.
And it also allows me to explore just my life in a different way than I couldn't with those responsibilities that I had there.
David Waldman, he comments that you pulled a Gwen Stefani and decided to go solo, and that Rose Gauntlet is your hollow back girl. However, you didn't go solo, though.
I didn't go solo. I brought in, it's a duo.
It's a duo, because you brought in Lindsay.
That's right.
My goodness. In fact, you're the person who directly introduced me to Lindsay. You're the reason I have this friendship with Lindsay, because I remember very well, it was Origins in Columbus, Ohio, and you just brought her around and said, hey, Lindsay, this is Alan. Alan, Lindsay, this is your new best friend.
And I don't regret anything.
Yeah.
Because
So
I think I was right.
yeah, thank you for that. The curse of my friendship that is with Lindsay. But I think that we've all had a lot of fun times just hanging out together. Like I said, Cabin Con earlier. But you had to sit down and decide, all right, we're doing this. We're going to make this leap, leave our past lives, and bring what we can to the table. And so you had to start from scratch, basically, but with all the knowledge you had.
Yeah, it was definitely something I couldn't have done 10 years ago. I'll tell you that. I'm very lucky to be in the position that I was when I left Plaid Hat. I had taken some time to save up money in order to potentially make this leap, even though I wasn't entirely sure that was the path that I wanted to take when I left Plaid Hat. And I was lucky to have the connections that I wouldn't have had without Plaid Hat, and people like Lindsay in my life, to be able to ask for advice and figure out, like, how am I going to do this? Where are we going to go? And I also don't think it would have worked out if Lindsay wasn't in a similar position as well, because me and Lindsay had talked about prior dreaming of always working together. And it was just felt like the right time, and I don't regret anything so far.
All right, that was my next question. Any regrets so far?
No, it's been an absolutely fantastic 6 months. The only thing that I wish was that we weren't in the middle of the pandemic while doing it. Yeah, I think we could be even further, though we have accomplished quite a bit since we've started the company. So I'm ecstatic with where we are so far, and ecstatic with the amount of goodwill and reception that we've gotten.
You're a master at this, by the way. I don't know, and maybe it's just because I know you so well, but I can't think of many games, let alone companies, that have had a lot of marketing hype before they're even around. Like, we did a lot of pre-marketing for Two Rooms and a Boom and let people know. But I hear a lot of people excited about Rose Gauntlet. You even have swag already, which brings me to this next segment. What are you wearing?
I am wearing...
Oh, go for it.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm just wearing a CLE t-shirt because I'm from Cleveland, born and raised. Yes. And this is actually a funny story. CLE, the Cleveland T-shirt company, was created by high school classmates and friends of mine, Mike Kubinski and Jeff Reese. So I'm not sure if they're watching this, but hey, also if you want me to sponsor your company on the show, I'd love to show Cleveland pride there. And I'm also wearing, the typical chauffeur cap, but I also have TK, our logo pin right there.
Nice. I cannot wait till we get pins. I think that'll be a lot of fun. I don't think it'll be TK though, because that TK's a pretty awesome mascot.
And you are obviously wearing a Rose Gauntlet Entertainment shirt, and Gabe wants us to talk about the icon and name selection, but tell me about your clothes first. Give that a nice pitch.
Yeah, so you can order any of our t-shirts on rosegauntlet.com. Right now we have t-shirts in multiple different colors that display our logo. We also have a hoodie that people are in love with that's been ordered quite a bit. We also have mugs that people also enjoy, and a backpack and some crazy stuff that we just plastered a logo on a whole bunch of stuff, and we're very, very surprised that people have ordered it and want it. So
it's gorgeous. And Lindsay was sporting her hoodie when she was on, so this is cool. And I love the colors that you've chosen.
Oh, thank you.
Very nice. But let's answer the question. Why Rose Gauntlet Entertainment? How about we start with that? Not Rose Gauntlet Games. I think that's an obvious question, but let's just answer it anyways, and then we'll go into why Rose Gauntlet. So why Rose Gauntlet Entertainment instead of games?
Right. So like I had said previously, one of the reasons that we started this company was to explore things that aren't necessarily within the same realm that we have already been known for prior. So I am definitely known as a game designer. I design board games, and even though what we've announced so far has been primarily centered around games such as board games and video games, there are other avenues that we also want to expand into as we grow. And we believe that entertainment more completely encapsulates everything that we want Rose Gauntlet to grow into.
That makes sense. It leaves room for comics, movies, video games, going to Gaia, like you said. That's brilliant. But why Rose Gauntlet? Why Rose Gauntlet?
So we had a lot of different name choices. We were working out tons of different stuff that we felt represented us well, and we had plenty of different options, and they were cut for multiple reasons. But Rose Gauntlet kind of emoted exactly what we wanted the company to feel like. We wanted to have a projection of strength, but still inclusivity, something that would represent growth, something that would represent that we're there to not only just be something in the industry that's just making games, but also something that protects and encourages the growth of a community and brings forth something positive in the gaming community. And it also still had to have a nerdy kind of feel. So It still kind of all encapsulates all those things. And we thought Rose Gauntlet just sounded very nice. And we thought it would make for a killer logo. So
yeah, I love it. I love it.
Together.
Here's the other bonus too, as a side, is that with plaid hat games, the cool thing was, you could get a plaid hat. I'm really looking forward to there being an actual Rose Gauntlet that people can buy and wear, because that's brilliant. We don't have a Tuesday night helmet or anything that people can buy, so that's brilliant. And I love the story of strength while also inclusivity, and I think you nailed it with Rose Gauntlet. Because, look, it's so pretty, but you can really smack the shit out of someone with a gauntlet. Throw it down at their feet for a duel or whatever. Yes. I love it. Very cool.
And we're really like, that Rose Gauntlet is going to exist one day, so I can't wait till it does.
That's exciting. All right, so the natural question that everyone's gonna have is, what are the release dates potentially? And I know it's too early probably to answer some of this, but let's go through this. So we'll start with Keystone. Is that gonna be the first release?
Yes, Keystone's going to be the first release. It's planned to go on Kickstarter in late April, early May. So as long as things
next month.
As in next month or the month right after.
My goodness.
So it's very, very close. It's in the late stages of its playtesting, and a lot of its art has been already completed, as well as graphic design. So it's just about getting all of those things finalized, making sure that we're happy with the stage the game is at in order to hit production. And we should be going to Kickstarter with a fully fledged game.
Well, I'm jealous because that is efficient. Although I think our company is notorious for being very slow, but
well, we're trying to, we want to definitely hit the ground running. That's why we announced 3 projects. We want to be held responsible to those 3 projects as well. And we have a lot of stuff that we've been brewing and thinking about throughout the summer, and there's not much else to do besides work on
your Rose Gauntlet games. Nice.
Exactly.
Nice.
We're incredibly excited. We have a killer team of people. It's not, it's me and Lindsay are the heads of the studio, but there's plenty of other people that are still part of these projects. We have amazing artists. We have Jeff, who's came out to help us with he's the co-designer of Keystone. Danny, who helps with our social media and does an amazing job. And
Danny's doing a great job, because there is a lot of buzz about Rose Gauntlet games. I think it's congrats again.
Yeah, and so it's not just me and Lindsay doing everything. I mean, we're doing a lot, but we have so many people helping us along the way. They're doing an amazing job, and are very excited about the company as well. So that just gives us all this energy of pushing forward. So it's fantastic.
So what's after Keystone? Do you know yet what's next in the pipeline?
Yes, the plan is to have Gone to Gaia in early access at some point within about a year from this point. So hopefully around this time next year, you guys will have either a Kickstarter or early access to Gone to Gaia as well, depending on how we want to go ahead, go towards funding, depending on how well Keystone does. So anybody who's excited about Gone to Gaia, please support Keystone. Keystone is one of the biggest foundations that lets us do a lot of the other projects that we are working on, and helps us move forward with everything that we've announced. And then Life After Dungeon is hopefully around 2023, early 2023 is the plan there, and probably a Kickstarter for that coming either late or mid next year as well.
Nice. And I like that Life After Dungeon even has the roses incorporated into its logo. Very nice. All right, Isaac, I'm so glad you're here. I
Aw.
don't remember exactly when we met. It was probably through like the Chad Hoverder party that I met a lot of industry insiders with there, because that's where I met Shut Up and Sit Down, Quentin Smith, but probably just being on the road with you at these different
Yeah, I
conventions.
mean, we'd always pass by each other's booths and see each other and talk and hang out. But there's times that we play games and just hang out, and eventually it grew into what this is now,
Let me
which
crush on you a little bit. I'm going to crush on you a little bit and tell you why Isaac Vega is an amazing friend to me, is because you are very accepting of me. You've been very affectionate forward. But if we're being very honest, there's a lot of people, and I don't want to label theater people in a stereotypical way, but theater people stereotypically do have this very like, oh, huggy behavior first, and like,
Mhm.
oh, we're best friends, but maybe lacks a sincerity. But you made a very concerted effort to spend time with me away from all the hubbub of the conventions. You said, hey, it's really important to me to have genuine friendships, and you were very intentional about exploring our friendship. And it made me feel very safe and very welcomed. And we had very in depth conversations. If we were having relationship problems, life problems, anything
Mhm.
in and outside of the gaming industry, you were fair game. And we've even had disagreements. I've learned so much from you, and they've always been very civil and understanding and coming from a place from love. And one thing you really, I don't want to say necessarily taught me, but just have reminded me is that we have two totally different lives. Even though we're both originally from
Mhm.
Ohio,
Right.
I'm like the traditional cisgender heterosexual white guy that has so much available to me. It's like the play, like just as a example of my power without getting too political, I'm not scared to go anywhere in the world or in time. And I understand that not everyone can say that. Like if there was a time machine,
True.
I would say, oh sweet, where do I get to go today? But not everyone has that capability of doing that. And so sometimes there's these issues that come up, and you've been very gentle in reminding me, like, hey, it's near impossible for you to understand where someone like that might be coming from. And I think you used yourself mostly. You're like, hey, this is how I have to handle things, and this is what's happened in my life. And I've really respected the amount of care and concern and just genuine regard that you've given me. So thank you so much for being a really good friend and creating a safe place for me.
Well, thank you, Alan. I mean, one of the reasons that I feel so close to you is because you've always been so receptive and kind to me and my thoughts, and the ability to just share myself completely without feeling scared to do so. Because that is one of the hardest parts of, especially early on in my life and early on in my career, sharing who I was and what I was really thinking about and what I really wanted to say. It was often something I couldn't do or did not feel safe doing, and I've never really felt that way around you, and I really appreciate that as well. And also just your energy is an energy that I know that everybody everybody on here enjoys, everybody that has met you enjoys and loves, but that was also just as just as
Right.
engaging to me as a person as
We've had a
well.
lot of fun
And
together too. It hasn't just been
yes,
all sit
we've had
down and
a
serious talks.
exactly.
Yeah, we've
And
cry laughed plenty of times.
yes, and I love you very, very dearly,
I love you too.
and you know that there is anything in the world that you can share with me, and I feel the same that I can share with you, and that is a
Yeah,
rare friendship, and that's one of the reasons that I take so much care into making sure that our friendship survives and we have good communication, and that we take the time to make those extra efforts to get to know each other even better.
I even said at the beginning before we went live, like, oh shoot, this is my first time late because I like 8:30 on the button, boom, hit live because I'm one of those anal retentive people when it comes to being punctual and whatnot. But I even said, oh, thank goodness you're the guest because I feel safe. It's like, oh, okay, it's not like, oh my goodness, this is a guest that with whom I am relative stranger to, and we're just budding our relationship, and I'm totally blowing it. It's like, oh no, we're gonna have a good time, and I appreciate that. All right, we should play a game. You want to actually play a game?
Let's play a game.
We're going to play Bearzerkers. I've literally never played this before. Never played it. But my understanding of Bearzerkers, and in order to get into this, we have to change our scene. So let's go into what I've prepped for us. Ooh, I got my TV here, and you've got your Isaac Vega one over this way. It's always reversed. It's always tough. But I'm going to... Hopefully this works. Hopefully this doesn't crash and burn. But we're using Parsec as well. We're going to go ahead, and the game plays like this. My understanding is there's going to be a bear chasing us, and we want to avoid the bear. But you don't have to be the fastest person. You just have to be faster than your friend. So I have to be faster than Isaac.
Are there other people just besides me and you in here, or?
No, because this is like a local game only.
Got it.
It's a local game only. I think. I'm not sure. But we're going to go to... I don't even know what Gauntlet is. So, literally, I've never played this. This could be a horrible game. I don't know. But we get to change what character you want to be.
Let me see if I can... Am I connecting in here?
I think you have to... There we go. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
wait.
Here's the cool thing. I like that we become these animals. Cool. I'm definitely going to be the badger. Because we talked about company names earlier. Rose Gauntlet's awesome. There was a time where I wanted to name a company Badger Ding. Like Badger Ding Entertainment, Badger Ding Games. Because I identify with the badger, because he don't care. Not that I'm tough and reckless, like this badger looks angry. But also, Badger Ding, if you look at the letters, spells Bad Gurding. And that's my last name. So, anyway. I know that's late.
Well, I guess I'll be the armadillo because
you're from
I
Texas.
identify. Exactly. I identify with Texas now.
I don't know what... We can go to Panda Pig. Let's go to Panda Pig. Let's start.
There we go.
Let us know if the volume's too loud. Okay. So... Alright, I'm purple, and you're yellow. And we're rolling around, and it says X is power up, and A's dig. I don't know what dig does. Oh, crap! The bear's on me!
That's right.
I don't know what digging does. I have no idea. Alright, I hit snow. I think I could probably freeze you. Oh, he's mad!
Oh,
he's
oh, God. No!
Oh, he's after you.
Must.
Oh, I froze you!
Oh, no.
Alright, so that's like an oil slick. Oh, no, he's after me. Alright, so far it's pretty simplistic.
Okay,
I think
so
we're just as fast as the bear, so there's not...
How'd you do the oil slick?
So I think we're supposed to be messing with each other somehow. Oh yeah, maybe the dig does that. Yeah, the dig makes a wall that the other player can't pass through. Like that!
No!
Yeah! Oh, shit. I guess there's lives. Okay, I thought that was like the round was over. But apparently not. Oh, there's an item stop there.
There's another bear?
Oh no!
That's not good. That's not good. Oh God.
I gotta bring this bear towards you. Come on, bear, come towards me! Uh-oh, what's gonna happen here? Oh, traded. Oh my goodness.
So do we only have one power? The dig power?
Oh, you can pick up power-ups. You can dig through the... Oh, I died. You got me. Apparently, so you can dig through the river. Good to know, because that's what you just did.
How do you activate the power-ups?
There's X.
Okay.
Well, the bear can jump over the water, so even though we can dig through it. Yeah!
Dang! That was dumb of me.
I think another bear's about to appear.
Oh God.
I think that's like the timing of it. Oh yeah, the third bear just appeared right on me, so I'm dead. Now I'm back.
Hate you. You did it.
Okay, that was interesting. All right, let's try next
level. Next level?
Next level. All right, reading some of the comments. David says, 2 bears, and Isaac has freeze. All right. So there's just the 2 buttons, power up, and oh geez. All right, so this is a windmill in the middle here.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Oh no!
There's a power. Okay. What is this power here?
Hi.
I can't believe I escaped that. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god.
Now I was going through a... that was good for me. I was going through a bunch of different possibilities for games we could play today. You had suggested maybe Hyper Life Drifter co-op.
Yes.
But, I thought, man, that's a hard game, and it's long too, so we won't be able to beat it, of course, in this one sitting. Did you just die?
Yeah.
Did something kill you?
I think, yeah, the windmill can kill you.
Oh.
So be careful of that.
Wow! And here's another bear coming. You son of a... Another game I almost chose was Mayan Death Robots.
No!
Oh wow, that was a quick one.
Yeah, I'm bad at
And Mayan Death Robots is akin to Worms. Have you ever played Worms before?
I have played Worms.
What is this like? All right, so Mayan Death Robots is supposedly like Worms.
Okay.
And I didn't go with it because I was having trouble connecting my controller. And I figured I didn't want to mess with technological issues more than we're already worried about. Oh, he's so fast! You son of a... Yeah! No! Okay.
That's
There's nothing
right.
I could really do there. But the other thing about Mayan Death Robots is the question of
Oh my god.
cultural appropriation, which is a topic that I feel totally comfortable talking to you about because, I mean, I admit I'm no master of no...
No!
Ah! All right, you have one life left, I have none. I don't have any experience.
Wait, did I just die? Oh my gosh.
I died twice, yeah. We're both down to our last life. And there's another bear coming soon, careful.
God. Oh god.
I don't think there's any way we can mess with the bear. Ah! Ah!
You jerk. Alright. The fun topic of cultural appropriation. Let's go.
Appropriation. We'll talk about it. So, Sir David's on the line here, and he brought to my attention earlier today that there was a little bit of controversy going on in the board game industry. Not like there's ever controversy there.
Right. Oh no.
Not a great way to start it.
I got in a hole. That was weird.
But there's a game called Three Sisters on Kickstarter right now.
Yeah.
And Three Sisters, apparently, I didn't even know this until David taught me. I was totally ignorant of this. Three Sisters is a reference to the Native American strategy of having three different crops. The crops are corn, starch, and beans, because apparently they're an opposite nutritional, I don't know, schedules, balances. Oh, no! And so some people were, thank you, Isaac.
Yeah.
Man, there is nothing you can do. You had me dead to rights. So what's the right response there? Do they just apologize and say, whoops, we didn't know? Do they go ahead during the Kickstarter and say, we're going to change the name? I know we don't have the right answer here or anything like that. Is that... Oh, jeez, I got two on me. Is that something
I think
even
it's
worth...
I think it's one of those things where it can create... Oh, God. That bear was going crazy. It can create one of these issues that I can kind of see often.
Who won that one?
I have no idea. I think I died.
Okay.
I think it was me. You are like 3-0 right now.
I thought you won one round, I'm pretty sure. My goodness. But go on, sorry, keep interrupting.
Yes, sorry.
It's an action game. It's probably not.
I know. So it's like
it's.
Intellectual conversations are already difficult enough for me sometimes.
I didn't know the bear came out of the box. For some reason, I thought an item was about to come out of the box.
That was close. How I feel about it really is that it is up to the designers and the creators to understand if they are representing a community that they should be representing that community well, and that as much as possible, members of that community are also profiting from the game itself, especially if you are in a marginalized, traditionally abused community.
Because I try to think of this as from a first-person point of view, and I think this again just shows the benefit of being who I am. Because I'm trying to think, is there anything that can be appropriated for my culture that would genuinely upset me? I know that's not a fair comparison, because the classic analogy to that is like, why do people get so pissed off when I punch them? I like getting punched. It's like, just because you like getting punched doesn't give you the right to punch other people. If that makes sense.
And the thing is that really the issues come with cultural appropriation is because there's a long history of particularly white people taking things from other cultures and utilizing them, and just sometimes not even at a point of like maliciousness, but just from the very fact that they have the privilege of being white and introducing a object into the populace's understanding, they will benefit more from it than a person that even like a indigenous person or a person of color introducing the very same thing, and that creates a lot of issues, because here you are taking away from us, kind of colonizing in a way our culture and benefiting from it without us being able to benefit from it or introduce it to the populace in the way that we were hoping to ourselves, or maybe not wanting to introduce it to the populace ourselves because it doesn't belong to them. So there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of nuances when it comes to the conversation of cultural appropriation. And I'm gonna die. Okay, I didn't die. Because it's not always a perfect thing. There's some hard parts to it as well. Like, I've always kind of thought of thinking of the empathy, like, let's say you're adopted into a different culture, right? And you come into it, and like, that is your culture, that is your life, that is what you were grown up in, and just based on the color of your skin and what you look like, people automatically assume that it doesn't belong to you, even though you've existed in it this entire time, right? Or maybe you don't look traditionally like that culture, or what people expect that culture to look like. So there can also be a set of racism or that even comes with calling that out, that can also be problematic. But I think it's definitely a case-by-case basis. I think in this situation, like,
so
if the designers,
severity and
right, if the designers are understanding that, hey, like, this isn't my culture, I don't even know this is called this for that reason, and are making attempts to fix it, that's really, I think, what can be asked for, to make attempts to fix it, to make attempts to also donate to different organizations that would help benefit those people that they're taking culture from. But at the same time too, like, it's better to get into the practice of not doing that. There's plenty of things to explore in this world, but at the same time, like, we live in a global world, right?
Yeah,
we're experiencing things.
Yeah.
We're all connected. We experience things from multiple different things all the time, like. And it is hard to almost say, like, this only belongs to me, or this only belongs to this set of people,
right?
Anymore, in a way. So it's, like I said, it's a very complicated conversation.
It almost sounds like the culture has to be something from the past, because there's no way you could be appropriating a new culture, since the cultures are so global. And I don't want to make that blanket statement. I don't think you're making.
Well, I mean, well, right. There's even
that was your game. I just ran into the freaking window.
There's another conversation going on right now that I've noticed, where people are talking about, like, there's a lot of straight cis men, white men particularly, that are in the younger kind of like Gen X generation, maybe a little bit older, that are wearing a lot of jewelry and wearing fingernail polish, more makeup, things like that. and are doing it to kind of advance their social standing, because like that is getting more attention on like TikTok or things like that, especially if like straight attractive men are doing it.
Yeah, so they're not just doing it just for fashion, but couldn't they just then claim, I'm just doing it because I like it?
Right, and that's kind of like the complication without Yeah, I gotcha. Oh, dang it.
Oh my god! No, Isaac!
And there's a conversation around that, like, hey, like, there are people calling people out because of that. But at the same time, too, there is some people are just like it, right? Like, some people just like it and they're doing it.
Yeah.
And I don't see anything wrong with people wanting to express themselves this way, even if they're not gay, right? But it comes down to, like, okay, now you're profiting off of this because you're going ahead and utilizing it, whether or not you like it. Some people do, some people don't. But it's one of those things, like, you can never really know exactly why a person is doing something. Oh god, you got me.
Yeah, so it's a hard
difficult
thing to, for lack of a better term, police. I can
Right.
think of some very severe examples. Where, you know, traditionally I could see people, like, what's that classic story of the one girl using the Asian dress for her prom dress? There's other, like, musicians totally appropriating. I know, like, what are they called? Candy skulls are supposed to be, and I'm revealing my ignorance here. I'm just hoping someone corrects me and lets me know how much of an idiot I am. But that people think, oh, sugar skulls are so, damn it, that's that one. You earned that one. But sugar skulls, those very highly decorated skulls, people think, oh, this is just really cute and good, and I want to use them to decorate my house. And the company that's selling these to people that just think they're good decorations are not representing the culture which they come from. And I think, and I don't know, and that's almost the point, is it has to do with Dia dos Muertos from the Mexican culture. Hey, Lindsay Road, your business partner, is on the line here.
Tell her she should get some rest.
When you start talking about food and history, it gets even more complicated. Oh, food. Yeah.
Right.
Like, what if I open up I open up a Thai restaurant or Polynesian, and
right.
do I give any? Isaac, you're
a
getting
little
better
opening.
at this, and I'm not.
Open. So close to escaping. You got me, though. Good job.
But what's the right thing to do? Let's suppose I'm in some city that's becoming gentrified, and I know they don't have any Thai food places there, and I'm a chef, and I think
honestly, like, this is my opinion. I don't think that remember, I am not speaking on behalf of an entire culture or an entire group of people. I am just speaking for myself. There are so many other things. Oh man. I'm trying to make a point. There are so many other things that I think are so much more important for me, that I think that sometimes we use these conversations to distract from the things that we really need to be focusing on, which is creating more equity and more stability for the people that come from those cultures. And
because that's the main thing, right? It has to be inequitable.
And that is the main thing. So I appreciate, like, one person donating or giving some money or doing what they can, but honestly, like, it's not enough to the amount that we actually need in order to help correct the issues of racism, colonialism, and the amount of damage that's been done to these cultures through hundreds and hundreds of years of enslavement and cultural appropriation and stealing of lands and all of these different things. It all stems from this. This is happening because of all of those things that took place, and we have done so little to actually try to address that it's almost what we try to turn towards in our own sense of power, because we can go ahead and blame this one person, right? We can go ahead and try to take this down, but we can't completely change the system that created the reason that all of these people are oppressed. Yeah. And I don't know what the right answer is there either.
I think
you know,
the right answer, I mean, there isn't one, but is at least to have this conversation that not to pat ourselves. You got that one.
I just tried to survive. I'll survive you.
Yeah. All right. This will be our last one. Let's do this. This one's for all the cookies.
Oh God. Not really want to win. Pressure is on.
So, like, here's one thing I can imagine, and I know this isn't parallel, but imagine Rose Gauntlet Games, Rose Gauntlet Entertainment, rather, doesn't do well. You're struggling.
Right.
And then someone goes ahead and somehow is able to have the Rose Gauntlet almost-esque icon, or maybe they sell Rose Gauntlets, like the actual physical gauntlets people wear that have roses on them, and you can try to sue them. But you don't really have the money to hire a lawyer and have the access to, and they make a ton of money. You and Lindsay Road just end up on the street poor. Now, this isn't an apples-to-apples comparison. Oh, you son of a gun! Because imagine this for centuries or hundreds of years, right? That doesn't really apply. So I think, again, no answer. But it would be at least having the conversation. And I think that's why it's important for people to speak out and say, hey, you shouldn't do that, or you should consult first, etc. The bigger thing is, if you were basically running this Kickstarter of Three Sisters, what would you do? Would you apologize? Would you change the name? Etc. And from my understanding, they have apologized. And
I think in that situation, I would apologize. I would also try to seek ways in which I could involve people from that culture into the project, and also try to compensate some people that are from that culture in the project if possible. But the thing is, sometimes is I do feel like sometimes people forget that board games are not necessarily the most profitable industry in the world. And only so many people can profit from a single board game. And before it becomes a loss for everybody, or something that isn't profitable or sustainable. It's a hard thing to answer, because even if you're giving money to one person, does that fix the issue, the core issue? No, it doesn't fix the core issue that cultures and people are constantly getting things stolen from them and given to a certain class of people that will automatically get more attention because of just the color of their skin or their background or their financial means. So nothing really solves the problem for everyone.
You know, it's interesting because I've had this conversation with Sean and David, who's on the comments. But anytime you are really upset about something, and I think that's just a lesson in life, it's important to that might be game. To have what does victory look like for you in mind? What do you want to see happen? Isaac, oh no, that's game. You get all the cookies in the world.
That's right.
Absolutely. All right, let's get out of here. We're going to go to title menu. We're going to shut this down and get back to our goodbye screen right here. So we're going to go from this screen and go to our multi-TV, like so.
Perfect.
Hey, we're back. But yeah, what do you want? Like, if you are going to take the time to tell someone, hey, I think this is a good example of cultural appropriation and what you're doing is wrong, I think it's always important to have a solution in mind. And that not necessarily that it's your job to tell them this is exactly what you need to do, but at least have it in the back of your mind. Otherwise, I think there's this inevitable backlash, because when you draw lines in the sand, you are creating opposition. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but you should always have a way to mend that opposition in the best way for everyone involved, in my opinion. And I'm not sure if I'm making sense right here, but I think the main point is, if you're going to draw a line in the sand, make sure that you have a very specific victory in mind. Does that make sense?
I don't know if human beings or a majority of human beings are at that level of thought right now in the world that we're living in.
Yeah.
And that's it. I understand what you're trying to say, but I think that's also asking a lot of a very individualistic society that is also encouraged to try to topple each other in order to get ahead.
Yeah.
And that's what our culture incentivizes. So, the good and the bad. It incentivizes to tackle problems that way, because you will get attention to be able to tackle those problems in that way. And I'm at the end of the day, I'm a 33-year-old board game designer who's starting a new company. I don't have all the answers to all of these things. I spend a lot of my time researching, thinking about these kinds of issues. I spend a lot of my time watching countless videos and YouTube and thoughts and comments and all of these things without necessarily always commenting on this kind of stuff.
And you're willing to engage in these conversations like you have tonight.
I think what's best is try to read more, try to engage more in history, and try to understand at the end of the day that most people are just trying their best to survive in a world that's sometimes very hard to survive in.
It's beautiful, Isaac.
And
I think that's beautiful and tragic, but yeah, I think I agree. I'm a bleeding heart humanist, where I believe the average person honestly wants to be the best they can. And I think when people aren't doing what's in the best interest for the world, it's because of something that's going wrong in their life or their past. And it comes
or the system that incentivizes them to act in a different way.
Yeah.
And I think we often forget how little choices we had in our existence and in the things that we live within. Like, one of the things that always like really blows my mind is how much has come before me and how much has been formed before I ever came into this world. Right. And as a creator, as a person that likes to create, I can spend all day long trying to think of a better version of this existence. Right. But there's often unforeseen tragedies that come along with that. And that's something that I'm trying to cope with and understand in my life right now, on how much people have already had the same feelings and thoughts and wants to be better that I have already had, and the tragedy of the lives that they've had and the ways that they've failed, and how some of those actions have led to even worse reactions. So I'm in a very weird place on all of this, and I'm trying to think of it on more of a outside level looking in, like trying to see the big picture of it all. But my hope is for people in these situations that find themselves, they made a mistake, they culturally appropriated something, or they made a mistake in some other way,
like misrepresented a culture,
are trying to approach it from a level of like, I am sorry, I am going to try to do better, I understand why there's outrage, and try to educate yourself on those kinds of reasons as to why people would be upset, and understand that those people that are upset, treat them with the same respect and empathy you want people to see you with in that moment. Well because said. I think a lot of people don't. They kind of like, how dare you call me out, or how dare you say these things, and not think about like why someone might say those things, or why they might bring those things up, or what kind of things are going on in their life as to why they need to speak out. This might have been the final straw in a series of things that had nothing to do with you. you know,
Yeah,
so
that's ripe.
yeah, and it's just try to figure out, treat people with the same amount of empathy and compassion that you want in that moment, because otherwise you kind of don't deserve it.
Wow.
You know, and that's, I think, a hard thing for a lot of people to learn, and I don't think our society has learned that very well. But anyways, like I said, I'm a board game designer who owns
same. Who am I to weigh in?
I am a very little part of this massive puzzle that we all call society, and the best thing that I've found to do is to love the people that you are in your circle, love them, treat them well, show them that you love them, care about them every day, and do as much as you can to reach out to those people in your life that make your life better. Because I'm sure the time that is spent shouting about things online could be better spent telling someone that you care about them and that you love them and that you're here to listen to them today.
That's actually one of the main goals in therapy, also with relationship therapy, marital therapy, family practice therapy, is with everything that's going on in the world, it almost always boils down to just do what you believe is the best you can do. Be the best version you can do, it as difficult as that can be. And I think you saying share the love and compassion with people, saying just that. We have plenty of comments rolling in. David Wallman says that the whole situation with Three Sisters turned him off from the Kickstarter. So there is this like, oh, do I buy in? Do I not? I may be putting some words in David's mouth. Dustin Stats says, glad I made the tail end. Great discussion, guys. And David also commends you, saying, very well said, Isaac. You were much more elegant than I could be on the topic. So thank you so much for coming in. We are over time, but we are a little late, so I think it evens out.
It evens out.
Evens out. I want to have these conversations with you throughout my entire life. And
same here, Alan.
I'm so glad that you joined me for like our multiplayer Mondays and games on the weekend. But not everyone else has that privilege of being your best friend. So if people do want to get involved as much as they can, how do they do that? What's the best way to stay in touch with everything Isaac?
Well, the best way is definitely going to our website and signing up for our newsletter. That is a fantastic way to support us, Rose Gauntlet, our efforts. We give people updates every month about what's going on there. You can also follow us on our social media accounts. Twitter and Instagram are both at Rose Gauntlet. And you can also follow me and Lindsay individually on social media. All of our contact information is on our website, www.rosegauntlet.com, as well as our other social media stuff on there. You can also watch our Twitch streams every Friday at 6 p.m. Central. There's so many ways to follow us and find us. One of them will work for you.
Sure. Thank you for having me on as your first guest on your Twitch stream.
We appreciate you being on. It was also like we were very much in the same situation where we were so thankful it was you because there was so many little mistakes before.
We played some Killer Queen. It was so fun.
It's so good.
Yeah. Bearzerker, by the way, what do you think? Bearzerker, thumbs up?
I think it's fun. I think it's great. It would be, can it play? It can play 4
It can play
people.
4. I think it would be way more fun with 4 players.
I think it would be way more interesting with 4 players, especially once 3 bears are in there. It'd be crazy.
You know what? I'll choose an even better game for next time you're on.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
Hey, and games. This is the TKtv, which stands for Tuesday Night Games. So check us out. We've got a shop too, TuesdayNightGames.com. And hey, every Tuesday, 8:30 Eastern Time, we're going to be here with TKtv. Isaac, any last words? You feel like you got your voice and I want to make sure you were heard? Do you feel that?
I love you all and thank you for supporting Alan. He is a wonderful human being and I love him dearly, and continue supporting him, please.
And thank you all for coming live and commenting. Even if you're watching this video and it's past, you can still leave comments and we'll do our best to answer them. Thank you so much, Isaac. Thank you so much, everyone at home. And I hope to see you next week. Bye, everybody. Bye. As I find the button somewhere. I struggle should have had this ready beforehand. There it is.
You'll figure it out, Alan.
I'll figure it out. Bye, everybody.